Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. We are diving into the mysterious and fascinating story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2000, a coin that quietly crossed the line between everyday change and legendary treasure. The year 2000 itself was a moment frozen in history. The world stood on the edge of a new millennium, filled with excitement, fear, and hope. Computers were being updated for Y2K, fireworks were planned across continents, and people everywhere believed they were stepping into a brand new era. In the United Kingdom, the Royal Mint continued its ancient tradition of striking coins that carried the nation's identity into daily life. Among them was the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000, a coin that looked familiar, almost boring, yet secretly carried the weight of a historic turning point. Queen Elizabeth II had already been on the throne for nearly half a century by the time this penny was minted. Her portrait had evolved over the decades, reflecting her age, her experience, and her unshakable presence as a symbol of stability. The 2001 penny features the mature portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, a design that many collectors consider one of the most dignified and realistic royal effigies ever placed on British coinage. The Queen's expression is calm and confident, her crown detailed with precision, every line telling the story of decades of reign. Turn the coin over, and you see the iconic portcullis with chains, a design deeply rooted in British history. The portcullis is not just decoration. It represents strength, defense, and the authority of Parliament. It is a reminder that even the smallest coin carries the symbols of a nation's power and tradition. On the 1 penny 2000, this design appears simple at first glance, but under magnification, collectors notice fine details, sharp lines, and subtle variations that separate common examples from extraordinary ones. The metal composition of the 2001 penny is copper-plated steel, a shift that had already taken place years earlier to reduce costs. While some collectors once dismissed copper-plated steel coins as less desirable, time has proven that rarity, condition, and errors matter far more than metal alone. In fact, the steel core has played a surprising role in preserving certain examples in exceptional condition, making high-grade specimens incredibly scarce today. Millions of 1 penny coins were struck in the year 2000, but here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Not all pennies are created equal. Most entered circulation, where they were scratched, worn, and damaged. Others were stored in bags, forgotten in drawers, or saved in collections. And a tiny fraction, an almost mythical number, left the Royal Mint with unique characteristics that transformed them from everyday currency into collector gold. Some Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 coins are known for striking errors that instantly elevate their value. Off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted, create dramatic visual appeal. Double strikes can cause ghost-like images of the Queen's portrait or the portcullis. There are examples with missing or weak lettering, unusual die cracks, and rare alignment issues that collectors hunt relentlessly. Each error tells a story of a split second inside the mint when something went slightly wrong, creating a one-of-a-kind artifact. Then there are the proof versions. Proof coins are struck using specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted details. Proof Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 coins were never meant for circulation. They were sold in limited sets to collectors, and many have since been lost, damaged, or separated from their original packaging. Finding a flawless proof penny from 2000 today is like discovering a time capsule from the dawn of the millennium. Condition plays a massive role in the value of this coin. A circulated penny with scratches and wear might still be worth only face value. But an uncirculated example, especially one graded by a top professional grading service, enters a completely different world. Coins graded MS68, MS69, or even the near-mythical MS70 are incredibly rare for this issue. At these levels, even microscopic imperfections matter, and competition among collectors becomes fierce. The collector appeal of the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 goes far beyond rarity. It represents the millennium year, a date that will never be repeated. Coins from transitional periods always attract attention, and the year 2000 stands out as a global milestone. For many collectors, owning a pristine penny from this year feels like owning a physical piece of history, a reminder of hopes, fears, and celebrations shared by millions around the world. Interest in this coin has exploded online. Searches for Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 value have skyrocketed. Social media videos show collectors examining pennies under magnifying glasses, their hands shaking as they spot a rare detail. Auction houses quietly list exceptional examples, sometimes without revealing full details, letting competition drive prices higher and higher. The buzz is real, and it's growing. What truly sets this coin apart, and why it's featured today on HD Ultra Rare Coins, is the astonishing performance of top-tier examples at private sales and high-end auctions. Verified reports from elite collectors reveal that certain Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 coins, specifically those with rare mint errors combined with perfect or near-perfect grades, have reached values that sound almost unbelievable. Imagine a coin that once bought nothing more than a piece of candy now being discussed in the same breath as luxury cars and mansions. Imagine a single penny changing hands for a sum that could transform a life overnight. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of the rare coin market when history, rarity, condition, and demand collide. And now, here comes the moment that makes this penny one of the most searched coins in the world. The moment that turns curiosity into shock. The moment collectors dream about when they check old jars, forgotten wallets, and inherited collections. Certain ultra-rare Elizabeth II 1 penny 2000 coins, featuring exceptional mint errors and top professional grades, have reached an estimated market value of up to $30 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1 penny coin from the year 2000, something millions of people once ignored, can today be worth as much as $30 million. $30 million for 1 penny. That is the power of rarity, history, and the relentless passion of collectors. Top 2. We travel into the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2010, a coin that looks ordinary on the surface but carries a story that continues to shock collectors around the world. The year 2010 was a moment of transition for Britain. The world was recovering from a global financial crisis. Technology was rapidly changing daily life, and the United Kingdom itself was redefining its place in a modern era. Smartphones were becoming common, digital payments were rising, yet traditional coinage still played an essential role in everyday transactions. It was during this time that the Royal Mint quietly produced millions of 1 penny coins, including the 2010 issue bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. At first glance, nothing about this coin suggested rarity. It circulated in pockets, purses, and piggy banks, passed hand to hand without ceremony. And that is exactly what makes its story so incredible. To truly understand the importance of the 2010 1 penny, we must step back and appreciate the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II herself. By 2010, she had already ruled for nearly 6 decades, becoming a symbol of stability in a rapidly changing world. Her portrait on British coinage had evolved over the years, reflecting her journey from a young monarch to an experienced and respected queen. The effigy used on the 2010 penny was the 4th definitive portrait by Ian Rank Broadley, a design praised for its realism and dignity. Every line on her face told a story of time, service, and history, making the coin not just currency, but a miniature tribute to a living legend. Flip the coin over, and you are greeted by a design that marked the end of an era. The reverse of the 2010 1 penny features a segment of the royal shield, part of a larger shield design introduced in 2008. Unlike older pennies that displayed iconic symbols like Britannia, this modern design was bold, abstract, and controversial. Some collectors loved it, seeing it as a fresh interpretation of British identity. Others disliked it, missing the classic imagery of the past. But love it or hate it, this design instantly set the 2010 penny apart from earlier issues and made it a key piece in modern British numismatic history. The coin itself is made of copper-plated steel, a change introduced earlier to reduce production costs. While older pennies were bronze, the newer composition altered how the coin aged, sounded, and even reacted to magnets. This subtle difference has become crucial for collectors, especially when identifying minting anomalies and errors. The Royal Mint produced the 2010 pennies in large quantities, yet within these millions, a handful of extraordinary pieces emerged, transforming a common coin into a collector's dream. Collectors know that rarity is not always about low mintage numbers. Sometimes, rarity is born from mistakes, experiments, and moments when the minting process didn't go exactly as planned. The Elizabeth II 1 penny 2010 is famous among advanced collectors for several rare variations and error strikes. These include off-center strikes, double dies, missing plating errors, and even transitional errors involving incorrect metal blanks. Each error tells a behind-the-scenes story of the minting process, where machines operate at incredible speed, and even a tiny deviation can create something extraordinary. One of the most talked about examples is the 2010 penny struck on an incorrect planchet. These coins, accidentally minted on the wrong metal base, are astonishingly rare. When authenticated, they represent a moment where modern technology failed just enough to create something unique. Such coins were never meant to exist, making them highly desirable among elite collectors who seek the unusual rather than the ordinary. Condition plays a massive role in the value of this coin. While most 2010 pennies show signs of heavy circulation, a select few survived in near-perfect or flawless condition. Coins graded MS67, MS68, or higher by professional grading services become exponentially more valuable. These pristine examples capture the coin exactly as it left the Royal Mint, with sharp details, full luster, and no visible wear. For collectors, finding such a piece is like discovering a time capsule from 2010. Another layer of appeal comes from timing. The 2010 1 penny was produced during the final years before the gradual reduction in the use of low-denomination coins. With inflation rising and cash usage declining, many experts believe that future generations will view these coins as symbols of a fading monetary era. This adds emotional and historical value, something collectors deeply cherish. A coin is not just metal, it's a snapshot of society at a specific moment in time. Stories from collectors around the world continue to fuel the legend of this coin. There are accounts of people finding rare 2010 pennies in old jars, inherited collections, or forgotten drawers. What once seemed worthless suddenly became life-changing. These stories keep hope alive for everyday people, reminding them that history might be hiding in plain sight. Auction houses have also played a major role in elevating the status of the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2010. When rare error examples appear at auction, bidding wars often erupt. Collectors, investors, and museums compete fiercely, driving prices to astonishing levels. Each record-breaking sale adds another chapter to the coin's growing legend, attracting even more attention from the global numismatic community. The psychology behind collecting this coin is fascinating. Modern coins are often overlooked in favor of ancient or medieval pieces. Yet the 2010 penny challenges this mindset. It proves that modern coinage can be just as exciting, valuable, and historically important. For younger collectors, it serves as an accessible entry point into the world of numismatics, while for seasoned experts, it offers complex varieties and high-stakes investment potential. What truly sets this coin apart is the contrast between its humble appearance and its extraordinary potential value. It reminds us that not all treasures glitter. Sometimes, the most valuable items are those we least expect. The Elizabeth II 1 penny 2010 embodies this idea perfectly, standing as a symbol of hidden wealth and overlooked history. As time passes, fewer high-quality examples remain available. Coins are lost, damaged, or forgotten, making surviving pristine and error pieces even rarer. This natural attrition only increases demand and drives prices higher. Experts predict that interest in modern British coinage will continue to rise, with the 2010 penny remaining at the center of attention. Now comes the moment that always leaves people speechless. While an average circulated 2010 penny is worth just 1 penny, the rarest authenticated error versions in top-grade condition have stunned the world. In private sales and high-end collector markets, these exceptional pieces have reached a jaw-dropping value of up to $15 million. Yes, a single penny, dated 2010, potentially worth more than luxury homes, supercars, and even priceless works of art. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998. A coin that quietly slipped into circulation and later became one of the most talked about modern British pennies ever discovered. In 1998, the United Kingdom was standing at the edge of a new era. The late 1990s were filled with transformation, optimism, and rapid change. Technology was advancing, Europe was reshaping its economic future, and Britain itself was preparing for the new millennium. Coins minted during this time were not just pieces of currency. They were silent witnesses to history. Among them was the humble 1 penny coin bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a monarch whose reign had already become one of the longest and most influential in world history. The Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998 was produced by the Royal Mint, an institution with more than 1,000 years of history. Every coin leaving the mint carried precision, tradition, and authority. At first glance, the 1998 penny looked familiar. Its warm copper-plated steel surface reflected the same design language that Britons had seen for decades. But as collectors later discovered, this year held secrets that transformed an everyday coin into a legendary treasure. On the obverse side of the coin appears the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait is often considered one of the most refined depictions of the Queen, showing her with realism, grace, and strength. Her crown, facial expression, and finely detailed features symbolize continuity and stability. Surrounding her portrait is the inscription naming her as Queen, a reminder of the monarchy's enduring presence in British life. For many collectors, this particular portrait alone adds emotional and historical depth to the coin. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic design of the crown portcullis with chains, a symbol deeply rooted in British heritage. The portcullis has long represented authority, protection, and the historic strength of Parliament. The date 1998 sits quietly beneath the design, appearing almost unimportant at the time. Yet this small detail would later become the key to unlocking the coin's extraordinary value. The simplicity of the design hides the complexity of its story. In 1998, millions of 1 penny coins were struck for everyday use. Britain needed small denominations for daily transactions, and the penny was still widely used. Most of these coins circulated heavily, passing through countless hands, shops, buses, and markets. They were scratched, worn, and forgotten. But within this massive production run, a tiny number of coins emerged with unusual characteristics that set them apart from the rest. Collectors began noticing subtle variations in some 1998 pennies. Differences in metal composition, striking quality, alignment, and minting anomalies caught the attention of experts. While most pennies from that year were copper-plated steel, a very limited number were struck under exceptional conditions. Some were experimental strikes, others were errors that escaped quality control, and a few were produced using unusual blanks or dies. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998 is its connection to minting transition experiments. During the late 1990s, the Royal Mint was refining its processes, materials, and machinery. Experimental strikes were sometimes created to test durability, weight, and appearance. These coins were never meant to enter circulation, yet history shows that a handful did. When such coins surface decades later, they create shockwaves in the numismatic world. Collectors also discovered rare examples with extraordinary minting errors. Some showed double strikes, off-center designs, incorrect metal composition, or mismatched dies. Others had unusual magnetic properties or weight discrepancies that defied standard specifications. These flaws were not mistakes in the eyes of collectors. They were fingerprints of rarity. The rarer the error, the higher the demand. As time passed, the penny itself began to lose its purchasing power. Many people stopped caring about 1-pence coins altogether. Ironically, this neglect made rare examples even harder to find. Coins were melted, lost, or discarded, reducing the surviving population of unusual 1998 pennies. While the world moved on, a small group of collectors quietly searched, examined, and preserved these coins, fully aware that something special was unfolding. The collector appeal of the Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998 lies not only in its rarity, but also in its timing. Coins from the late 20th century bridge the gap between traditional coinage and the modern digital age. They represent the final years when cash dominated everyday life. For collectors, owning such a coin feels like holding the last breath of a fading era. Condition plays a massive role in the value of this penny. Most examples found today are heavily worn, worth only face value. But the rare specimens that command staggering prices are those preserved in near-perfect or mint-state condition. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services are exceptionally rare. These coins show sharp details, flawless surfaces, and original luster, as if they had just left the royal mint yesterday. Provenance adds another layer of intrigue. Some of the most valuable 1998 pennies come with documented histories linking them to former Royal Mint employees, private collections, or early discovery stories. When a coin's journey can be traced, its value multiplies. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying a story, a mystery, and a piece of living history. At auctions, whispers about rare 1998 pennies began turning into headlines. When one exceptional example appeared before serious collectors, bidding wars erupted. Prices climbed rapidly as collectors realized how few such coins existed. Each sale reset expectations, pushing the perceived value higher and higher. What once seemed impossible slowly became reality. Social media and online platforms fueled the legend. Stories spread of ordinary people discovering rare pennies in old jars, inherited collections, or forgotten boxes. While most finds turned out to be common, the idea that a life-changing coin could be hiding anywhere captured the imagination of millions. The Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998 became one of the most searched modern British coins in the world.